Welcome viewers. On behalf of Iravati Research and Communication Center, this is Pratim Ranjan Bose. I have with me Mr. Vinit Kumar, Chairman, Kolkata Port Trust, now renamed as Shyama Prasad Mookerjee Port, Kolkata or SMPK. Welcome, Mr. Kumar.
Thank you.
Mr. Kumar is an Indian Railway Service official. For a brief period, he handled the dual responsibility of both Kolkata and Paradip ports. SMPK, as you know, is India's earliest major port. It is one of the 12 government-owned large ports in India. As a river port located 232 kilometers upstream from the sea, it is an exception in today's shipping world. The port runs two dock systems. The old dock system in Kolkata handles the container cargo. Haldia in the downstream handles mostly bulk cargo. Till about a decade ago, not many were hopeful of the long-term viability of SMPK, as the river offers little draft to dock the gigantic ships that crisscross the high seas. However, SMPK found ways to dodge that problem. More importantly, the recent focus of the government in implementing Jalmarg project and dedicated rail freight corridor or DFC, coupled with booming India-Bangladesh trade and a host of recent treaties between the two nations to promote trade through coastal shipping and inland water transport, opened wide opportunities before SMPK. As a river port, SMPK now has the potential to emerge as a multimodal hub to support India-Bangladesh trade and promote trade in eastern and northeastern India. Sir, to begin with, if you can elaborate how Calcutta Port or SMPK is helping the cause of India-Bangladesh trade. As we know, Bangladesh was the sixth largest importer of Indian goods in 2020. Bilateral trade is growing at a very fast pace, and the congested land border gates, starting with Petropol in West Bengal, suffer from serious congestion. So, over to you, sir.
Thank you for this opportunity. As you have given the background that we are a river port and we are at the confluence of the region, sea and the river. So while we have been harnessing the sea exim potential of the trade by the sea route, very recently in the last few years we have concentrated also on the river traffic. And the Indo-Bangladesh and traffic becomes a very crucial part of it. Because the bigger scheme of things, if you see, we are at the cusp of National Waterway 1 and National Waterway 2. That is from Allahabad, Varanasi to Calcutta, Haldia. That is National Waterway 1, and National Waterway 2 from Calcutta to via Bangladesh to Brahmaputra to Assam. Now, as you already mentioned, Jalmarg Vikas is a project which is there for development of National Waterway 1 and National Waterway 2. All this development is taking place. Indo-Bangla trade plays an important role in this because there is an Indo-Bangla protocol already signed a few years ago, wherein we have, bilateral concessions for each other, priorities for each other, so that this trade booms. I'm very happy to tell you that in the last few years, the growth rate has been exceedingly well. Last year, we did around 3.8 million tons of cargo with Bangladesh. This year, it is promising. It is going more despite the COVID issue. And the cargo profile is also changing, I would say. While the cargo profile earlier was fly ash, around 2 million tons or 2.2 million tons. But this year, we are finding that a lot of food grain, that is rice, maize, and stone chips, all these things are going. Also, there is an increase in the container movement. Right, last year we handled around 15,000 to 16,000 containers. I think by this year, by now we have already crossed that figure. So the container movement is also happening. We are very aggressively promoting this, and we are finding that a lot of people have shifted Also from, as you rightly mentioned, from Petrapol, Benapol, because of the congestion and other issue, to the waterways, and they have found it to be quite useful. So there's a lot of potential. I would say that still what we are operating is there is a lot of scope for improvement. We have kept an internal target that in few years we should reach at least 10 million tons on that. And also the extension of this is, if you see that around for going to National Waterway 2 up to Dubri or Pandu, that is Guwahati, around 50 to around 60% way is already covered when we are going to Bangladesh. And only another 30-40% we have to cross, and then we can harness the potential of NW2 for connecting our northeastern states via this route, especially for the cargo which is going from Calcutta to Haldia. So I would say that there is very good growth. The things are improving. The cargo profile is also changing. The connectivity to northeast via Chattogram, that is another trial which we had done last year. So it is in the final stage of formalization that the cargo will go from Calcutta to Chattogram, and by road will be transited to Tripura and Mizoram. So that protocol has been signed, a trial has been done, and now final some documentation issues are being sorted out. Once that is done, it will open up a new route for connecting the northeastern states from Calcutta Port and from this region.
Thank you, sir. Quite nice elaboration of the future. We hope, I think Jalmarg will be implemented by 2023. So that will bring the opportunities. So Kolkata Port is the gateway port for two important neighbors, Nepal and Bhutan. Now, in the past, we know a couple of years ago, part of Nepalese cargo, this is third-party imports, that shifted to Vizag for better efficiency. How did things pan out since then? I'm asking because I know you are taking a lot of initiatives. So how are things panning out since then, and whether the Jalmarg will help improving help tilting the balance in favor of Kolkata? And considering the geographical proximity between Nepal, so better operations from Kolkata is actually helpful for everyone from the greater perspective.
So I would say that Nepal is a very important customer to us, and even today I would say that 80% or more than 80% of Nepali trade is still handled by Calcutta Port Trust. The total volume is roughly around 3.5 million tons, which includes containers and other cargo also, which is coal, fertilizer, and other things, vegetable oil. So all these things are there. Now some cargo shifted to Vizag because a new system called ECTS, electronic sealing, was tried there. We used to move cargo here under custom transit declaration process, which was a paper process. So a trial was started at ECTS with at Vizag, and some containers were taken there and it was shifted there. Now ECTS was later on implemented at Calcutta also. So we are at par as far as this is concerned. So as of now, I would say that we are almost at the same level as we were, and the volumes are almost back with us. However, there are two ports where there is a choice available with the customer, and we believe that if we should give them better service and better economies, then definitely customer will come to us. We have had discussion with shipping lines and other people. One recent development has been that the private train operators have been allowed to take the containers, Nepal containers from all the ports, that is Calcutta and Vizag port. Earlier only Container Corporation was allowed. So that development has also taken place. New players are coming into this. The rates have, the container freight rates have dropped both from Calcutta and Vizag, both for Calcutta because Calcutta is closer. It's we are around 700 kilometers from Vizag. Vizag is around 1400. So all this is going on. Our aim is that yes, the customer should get the benefit from wherever it is, whether from Vizag or from Calcutta. But it is our duty to improve our services and give them a better value. So we are working on all these fronts. As I told you, ECTS has been implemented. We always give a special preference to the Nepalese containers. In the first wave of COVID, I would like to inform you that for around 45 days, we kept the containers in our port because the movements were restricted without any charges. So all these things, all these efforts are on. Another point which you raised is a very exciting point, that how would the Jalmarg Vikas contribute to this? You are aware that there is a terminal coming up in near Kalughat, and
Sahibganj.
Sahibganj terminal is coming up. That is quite close to Birganj, which is around, to my understanding, is 150 or 180 kilometers from Birganj. Now, a very exciting opportunity is that we do a lot of lighterage operation at our anchorages. Cargo can be, lightered by our floating cranes directly into the barges, and these barges can go straight away to Sahibganj, and from Sahibganj the cargo can be shifted to Birganj. So this will be, I would say, a very good method of transporting the cargo via waterways. See, as of now, it comes via waterways up to Kolkata and then goes by rail or road. Waterways being the cheapest method, the more you travel by waterways, the cheaper it is. So, if once this terminal is operational, my thinking is that we will be in a position to transport a lot of cargo, Nepal cargo. We are also inviting a tender for another floating crane. We got 2 floating cranes. We are inviting another tender for a floating crane, which will be lightering the containers at our anchorage. As of now, we are doing lighterage of only bulk cargo, but we intend to do lighterage of containers also. So our plan is that the containers can be lighted into smaller barges at the anchorage, and then they can be straight away sent to Sahibganj, and from there to Birganj. So this is an exciting opportunity. We are looking forward to harnessing that. And of course, once that happens, that will be a much economical method, and that should keep ourselves very well in competition.
So that will save the loading, unloading at port and then further journey, and taking advantage of the overall government's focus on multimodal.
Exactly. Yes.
Sir, you spoke about lighterage. Now that, I remember some 10, 12 years ago, these things were started, or, more on experimental basis, right? So to negotiate the draft issue at dock, so you are unloading the cargo in the high sea and transferring it. So to what extent this process has been stabilized, whether it runs throughout the year, because there was a weather window issue, and of the total cargo handled by the port, what is the share of the lighterage now?
So I would tell you that, see, it is quite stable now. We have been doing this from 2018. It is quite stable. The amount of cargo which we have done last year is roughly around 1.6, 1.7 million tons of dry bulk cargo. So that is one. I would say that it is quite stable. There is an issue with the weather-related issues. So around seven months in a year, we are able to do the lighterage at Sandheads, wherein we can get the fully loaded Cape vessel. The highest vessel with a cargo of 1,70,000 to 1,80,000 tons. So for 6 to 7 months, we can do it there. Earlier, we were not able to bring this Cape vessel to Sagar anchorage. We have an anchorage at Sagar also. But I am very happy to inform you that this year, in fact last year, around 3-4 months ago, we have been able to bring a Cape vessel also at Sagar and lighter it at Sagar. So it came with around 70,000 tons of cargo. So now the Cape vessel can come around the year to Kolkata Port Trust anchorage, that is Sagar. So earlier it was not, we were not been able to bring it to Sagar anchorage because of the size and the beam. It's a very huge vessel, more than 300 meters long, and then beam is around 40 meters or so. So there was some technical issues, but we were able to circumvent those issues. And last year we were able to bring this Cape vessel, not only one. I think before we started lighterage at season at Sandheads, we could bring at least 3 Cape vessels at Sagar. So that is also quite established now. So I can now bring a Cape vessel, fully loaded Cape vessel for 6 to 7 months, and a partly loaded Cape vessel for Lighterage round the year at my Sagar anchorage. One more development which has taken place is we have started ship-to-ship operation of LPG. That is the first in the country. We have started around 3 months ago. Bharat Petroleum was the first company which partnered with us and did this first trial. Earlier, this was done in either in Male or some Middle Eastern country. Vessel used to go from here to Male, and then lighter they discharge into 2 vessels, and both the vessels come to Haldia. So there was the charges of the vessel for 4 or 5 days was being paid. Now these vessels are available in Haldia. At any point of time, 2-3 LPG vessels are available in Haldia, and this is being done at our own anchorage. I think by now we have at least done 7-8 such operations, and buoyed by this idea, not only LPG, we did for carbon black also, CPFS also, and other liquid products also. So while we had developed a capacity for transloading in bulk, we have this year started the operations of transloading of liquids also. So this is another recent thing which we have started, because overall we have to circumvent the draft issue of the port, because that's a natural disadvantage to us. We have to have ways and means to go beyond that. So all this we are very aggressively focusing on transshipment of bulk as well as liquid. We have plans. We are talking to some parties to have a floating unit at Sagar anchorage, and from there they can send barges to Bangladesh for LPG. So a lot of LPG goes to Bangladesh. So we are trying to work out with some companies that they will have a floating unit installed at Sagar anchorage, and from there they will be. Some preliminary talks are going on. We are hopeful that if it materializes, that will be around the year lightering operation for LPG at our Sagar anchorage.
Okay. So, and you said that you will also start container lighterage.
We have started container lighterage. So we are already going up with a tender for one more floating crane. We all have 2 floating cranes. We are going for one more floating crane.
So if
the idea is that. Yeah,
if I understand it correctly, that just for the benefit of viewers, is that the port which had this, earlier the motherships were not coming, and in many cases, as you said, in case of some liquid cargo or gas cargo, that mothership was not coming to India at all. Okay, so you are breaking that chain. So there is a value tapping, first of all, and the reduced cost for the customer.
Right. See, mothership was coming. No, mothership was coming, but mothership was coming with half the cargo. So a daughter used to go from here to Male, and the cargo was distributed with mother and daughter, and both used to come. Now the higher charges of the daughter ship for 5 days to go and 5 days to, or 4 or 5 days to come. That is the saving which the country is having, and which the oil companies are having, which as a country we are having that saving of the foreign exchange. That is quite substantial. It's I think what I understand, for each vessel there is a saving of around a couple of crores or more than that.
Okay. And slowly, so with time, we might find that this lighterage anchorage operations are giving more share of cargo to the port.
This will give substantial cargo. Yes.
And it is all imports, right? It is not exports.
No, we can do exports also. Last year we tried, when the iron ore export was booming. We topped up the iron ore export also at our anchorage, because it can be both ways. So we, vessel was loaded in the port, and then it went on through the anchorage, and they, with barges, further topping up was done at the anchorage.
Okay. Sir, now a little different issue. The infrastructure implementation has been phenomenal over the last decade. The DFCs, Eastern and Western, were scheduled to be operational this year. I think they suffered a little delay due to COVID, but in any case, it will come up in by the end of the year or so. The Sonnagar Dankuni part of EDFC, Eastern DFC, the work has just started, so we can expect it to be through in another couple of years. Jalmarg will be implemented next year, and gas has already reached West Bengal. It will reach to Haldia very soon. So with this, there is a new prospect for industrialization. I'm not merely saying as big plants, but it can also be warehousing, logistics. So the whole dynamics is changing. Now, port, as we know, Calcutta Port has, being a legacy port, has a good land asset, right? And you had taken a lot of initiative, wherever they were to remove encroachments and etc. So, are you planning anything to leverage that for industrialization? I mean, a lot of ports do that in their backyard.
Yes, yes. See, let me tell you that first of all, as of now on our land, we have all the industries. We have Indian Oil and we have multiple industries in Haldia, Exide, and so many industries in Haldia which are on our port land. In Calcutta also, we have Braithwaite, we have ITC, we have Britannia, we have so many other industries already there. Most of the tea warehouses, whether it is Hindustan Unilever or any other big tea houses, they are all big tea warehouses are there on our land. So most of it is, lot of it is quietly already industrialized. But as you very rightly pointed out, that with these developments coming in, that is the EDFC and Jalmarg, and there are opportunities in future. So what we look for is that we are looking for for projects of industrialization, as well as you mentioned, gas. Gas is the future. If you ask me, be it natural gas, be it LNG, other type of gases. So we are actively considering. We have given a concession land parcel for LNG plant in Haldia. Somehow it has not materialized, but we are going to republish it very soon. So we are interested to have gas plants on our land in Haldia. We are very interested to have warehouses, because once EDFC comes, there will be a lot of need for warehousing in Calcutta.
And the large scale ones. This will be large scale ones.
Large scale ones. So large scale warehousing. We have recently published a tender for a cold chain. Because a lot of fish and other fruits, etc. These are getting exported from here, and we found that there is a gap in the cold chain infrastructure. So we have very recently around a 3-acre plot, we have already floated the tender for the purpose of cold chain only. So all this is there. We are also doing the master planning of our land. For Haldia, it has already been done. For Calcutta, we are doing the 2050 master plan as to in the next 20-30 years. How much land? We already have a port master plan in place. How much land will be required for the port purpose? How much land will be required for the port allied purpose? Like exactly, you have to have warehouses, CFSs, and then how much, whatever land is balanced, and then that is to be developed separately as a township or something like that. So that planning is also going on. So on all these fronts, active action is being taken, I would say, for warehousing side, gas infrastructure, rail infrastructure. We have published a tender, or we are trying to work out a LPG siding in Haldia. So all this development is already under consideration, and as you said, the planning part is also in progress. We have done an MOU with an agency who has a land in Dankuni, because Dankuni is going to be a very big interchange point. So they have got land and they are coming up with a rail terminal. We are having an MOU with them. So once the terminal comes up, we will be taking active partnership, because the transportation from Dankuni to Calcutta port will have to be done, and a stacking yard will be required. So we already had an MOU with Suman Forwarding there. So we are working on all those fronts. We have also requested Ministry of Railways for upgrading the infrastructure from Dankuni to Calcutta Port Trust and Dankuni to Haldia Port Trust for on the EDFC standards, so that the trains can come directly to the port also.
Yes, there is a congestion there in the Dankuni Calcutta and Dankuni Haldia link. Sir, you said you are very excited about gas, and LNG ships, most nowadays the LNG is the preferred fuel for vessels. So any prospect for LNG bunkering and these services?
See, I would say that, as I told you, we have already issued an expression for an LNG storage facility at Haldia. We have already also given a concession to a private company called H-Energy in Kokharahati. They have their land and they have come to the port for making a jetty and making a storage facility at Kokharahati for storing and supplying LNG. So that concession we have also given, and I'm told that they are progressing with it. So the facilities are in progress, and as the facilities come, I'm sure that bunkering will also be a feasibility, because what you need is, once a storage facility is there, what you need is probably a barge or something like that to do the fueling of the ships, as it is being done for for the oil now. They are taken into barges and refueled on the way. So that kind of facility is coming up, as I told you, in Kokharahati, and that can be leveraged for providing the bunkering services.
Okay. Last question, sir. Kolkata is a blessed city. I mean, not many cities in India do have a huge river flowing through it, right? So there is a lot of opportunity to develop, the river sport and this kind of activity. So a marina. I mean, I often visit the riverfront, and I feel, I mean, thank God it has now been improved, but earlier too it was so bad. And the government also recently took a policy in this regard, development of marina and etc. Any plans that you do have in these areas?
See, as I told you, there is the planning, master planning, which we are doing, has a very important element, is the development of riverfront, because a lot of land in and around the river belongs to the port. So we have a plan of riverfront development. That is number one. Number two, we are ourselves developing 2-3 jetties. One at the Outram Ghat, we are developing a jetty with all other facilities for river tourism, river transport. And we have around 20 acres land at Indenture Memorial. It's a place, as you enter the Khidarpur, it's an old workshop of around 20 to 30 acres. That place also we are developing as a river cruise terminal. So it will have, a restaurant, it will have banquet hall, and the DPR has been made. So we are developing a circuit. What I think is that you can start from Millennium Park, then or Outram Ghat, then you can go to this Indenture Memorial Jetty. It has a history because a lot of Indenture, labor used to go from there.
Absolutely.
So Indenture Memorial, and then on the other side you have Botanical Garden, and then when you go upstream again, you can come to Howrah Station. So there is a possibility of development of circuit. But from our part, as of now, we are developing this. One more development which we have done is that, if you are aware, you must have seen photos of Howrah Bridge, very well lit with multicolored lighting.
Right.
That is a project I have done around 2 years ago, and it was inaugurated by Honorable Prime Minister. That is the dynamic lighting on the Howrah Bridge. And coupled with it is the music. It is actually a light and sound show where you have speakers on the Millennium Park. You can stand and listen to the music, and the sound is, the light is synchronized. But due to COVID, actually, that that people are not able to enjoy that as of now. Right. But I am planning to have a second phase of that also on Howrah Bridge to improve, if we can have some laser show, etc. also there. So plans are there for that, for developing river cruise tourism, and also these kind of activities on the riverfront. Both on Calcutta side as well as on Kolkata side. We are working on all that.
Fantastic, sir. Thank you very much for giving us time.
Thank you, Pratim. Thank you very much. It's always a pleasure to talk to you. Thank you.